Hi, what's up everybody? So today I'm just going to be doing a little tutorial on how to keep stats for NCAA Baseball. So first off, I'll give you the link and everything, and the link will bring you to a page that'll look a lot like this, okay? I'll have it all set up with what teams are playing, so in this case Notre Dame and Utah. And I'll have down here Notre Dame and Utah, and over in the play-by-play. And so it is your job to do a couple things. First off, you take lineups. So if people are playing, you're gonna put their lineup in, just like this, and just like any stat keeper would do. And you do the same thing for Utah. And then you would add Alexander here, or whoever's pitching, just in this case that. And then also what you do, you're gonna go ahead and every time you see pitching for, since he was on Notre Dame, every time he's pitching for Notre Dame, you do him. I would just do it the first time and then copy and paste. But yeah, make sure each of these has the right pitcher, and you would do the same for Utah. See, I do it like this. I put it through all 5 innings to start it, and then like say in the third someone takes over, I'll just do like that and then copy it through. It's up to you really how you do it. That's just how I do it. So once those lineups are in for both teams, you are ready to go. Don't pay attention to any of this stuff. I do this after the game. Counting stats up, I do after the game. Now what all you're going to have to do is just work on the play-by-play. So for the play-by-play, what you're going to keep track of is actually the stuff here. At-bats. Well, you're going to keep track of who's hitting, their at-bats, plate appearances, hits, runs, RBIs. All this will all be in there. And so I'm just going to go ahead and show a couple of the ways you're going to have to keep track of stuff. So first off, you're going to keep track of outs. So you might have player grounds out to, I don't know, shortstop. Or player flies out to right field. Player might strike out swinging. Or you could put looking if he was looking, but yeah, in this case, strikes out swinging. Player, I know this is more than 3 outs, but you could line out. And so basically what you're going to do, you're going to keep the player's name, what they did, to where. Okay, so player's name, what kind of out, in this case, what kind of out, and then to where. Obviously, if he strikes out, he didn't do it to anywhere, but so you could have pops out to first base. So basically, pops out would be the same as a fly out, but for infield, and it's not a big deal if you just use fly out or pop out, either way. You could also have, so say, okay, we also keep track of hits, so like player 1 singles to left, player 2, you could say hits a ground rule double to center, or you could say player hits or doubles to right. So if it's a ground rule double, you would specify that was a ground rule double. All other doubles, you would just say doubles to right. Same with triples, singles, all that. If it's a home run, so we'll just say we have someone on first. So player 2 hits a 2-run home run. So that's how many runs would score. Oops. And then you would say who scores. So obviously player 2 scores, but you have to specify player 1 scores just for the sake of stats. And then what you do, you'd put a little bracket, and then you'd write the score. So in this case, it'd be 2-0 Notre Dame. And then I usually just go ahead and make it green and bold to make it really stand out. Another thing you'll have to do, so far we have outs and hits. You're also going to keep track of people on the base paths. So if a player gets on first, we'll say, so in this case, we'll just say he reached on an infield single to third. So it's the player's name, what he did, where he did it to. Well, player 2 comes up to bat and doubles to right center field. Well, that double ends up moving player 1 over to third. So doubles to right field, player 1 to third. So anyone on the base path, you have to say where they go, whether it's a score or just an advance. You got to make sure you say where everybody goes. Say he's just at first, and in the case of one of the outs, we'll say he grounds into a double play to short to second. Player 1 out at second. So player 1 was out trying to get to second. Player 2 was the one who grounded out. And then in this case, when it's a double play, you'll say go ahead and put G, since it was a ground, G, and then what positions were a part of it. So we'll just say a 4-6-3. So second baseman to shortstop to first baseman. And then you'll go ahead and put the username of whoever turned the double play. So I'll just go very generic, 2B man to SS man to 1B man. And so those are the players that were a part of the double play. If it was a fly into a double play, player 1 out at first, because he was trying to get back, but he didn't get back in time. So we'll just go ahead and say F to 9, because right field is 9, and then he throws it to the first baseman covering, and then we'll say right fielder man to 1B man. So that's who made the play on that. Everyone who was involved in it gets their name put down here because, like I said, we're keeping track of this stuff. Well, you see here, errors and double plays. Those are the defensive stats we keep track of. So in the case of maybe reaching on an error, maybe he hits it to center fielder and the center fielder just completely misses it. Like, it was an easy play, he gets under it, and then he just jumps over and misses it. Well, he's going to be safe at or second. I mean, any base that he's safe at, you're going to go and put that, and then on the error, and then who the error is by. So this is an actual player. Say I'm in center field. You go ahead and put that name. And then that'll tell me, hey, this guy made the error. Stolen bases, once again, for the base paths. It's easy as this. So maybe player 1 singles to right. And then the next play, player 1 steals second. So you make sure you give it its own little, like its own space. So the single goes here, then the steal goes in the next line, and then the next line will be whatever the next player does. Because it's different plays. Each play gets its own line. It's not super hard. Okay, for pitching, literally, if you just tell me who's pitching, it's pretty easy for me to figure out, hey, this is what they did, because it's right here. So anything under him would be what he gave up, or anything under here would be what that pitcher gave up. If somebody makes a pitching change in the middle of it, so let's say like he was pitching and then he gave a bunch of runs, and they're switching pitchers. So basically, all you do is go over here, Control C, so just copy it, and then go down to the next available line, paste it, and then you go ahead and write, pitcher 2. Whoever's the new pitcher, you go ahead and keep track of that there. Now, we also keep track of pinch hits. So like, this is literally what you do. You just put the player who's pinch hitting, and then the letters PH, and then the player who's being pinch hit for. So player 6 is batting for player 1. So that's how you're going to write it. And you'll go ahead and with the normal, the normal thing, And then let's say he gets on, but then he needs a pinch runner. So we're going to go and say player 1 pinch runs player 6. So we keep track of pinch hits and pinch runs. Pinch runs is basically so it doesn't get confusing, like if you don't put it, it says player 6 singles and then somebody gets a hit and then player 1 steals second. Well, how is player 1 on? Well, because if you would write it down, player 1 pinch runs player 6. So we got to know who's pinch hitting who. I think that should be it. I mean, sacrifice fly is pretty self-explanatory. You just write so-and-so hits the sac fly to wherever, and then whoever scores. You keep track of that. And I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, just feel free to DM me on Discord and I can answer any questions you have.